First things first. Former Grand Theft Auto developer thinks Grand Theft Auto 6 players, aka casuals, prefer 30 FPS over 60 FPS. That's right. Former GTA developer says PS4 niggas love a choppy frame rate. But before we talk about a friendly reminder, I am giving away a free copy of the Clip's new album, Let God Sort 'Em Out, on vinyl. If you want Let God Sort 'Em Out on vinyl, whether you have a record player or you just want to hang it up on your wall, into the giveaway, exclamation point giveaway in the chat. It'll give you a link. All you gotta do is follow me on Instagram. It works on YouTube and the Twitch chat. Join the giveaway, join the giveaway. If you're watching on Hokage Highlights, the link will be in the description box below. All right, let's read it. Grand Theft Auto 6 will dominate 2026. I completely agree. I agree so much. What I'm about to say is not financial advice, but just for the sake of transparency, I agree with this statement so much. I know you niggas gonna buy this shit. I know it's gonna break all type of financial records. I have started creating a position within Take-Two Interactive. I started with 5 shares because that shit is fucking expensive. I'm not gonna lie. And throughout the year, as well as next year, I will continue to just trickle a little bit of money by fractional shares to try to build up as much as I can. And Take-Two Interactive, the creators of Grand Theft Auto, because I know you niggas are gonna buy this, regardless if it's good or not. The reviews could be a 1 out of 10. You're gonna buy it, and I'm here to make some money. So fuck it, y'all niggas don't listen. Wrong one. Not financial advice. That's just what I personally chose to do.
Why I locked away.
Yo, shout out to RNO with the $10 super chat. He said Pedro was funny with the anxiety shit. Yeah, he has anxiety. I like that. He's got the most interesting form of anxiety. Let's see. Take-Two Interactive. Stock price. Actually, let me go on Google. It's at $223 per share. It's expensive. It's not something that anybody can just get, but you know, you can do fractionals and stuff like that. Not financial advice, but that's how much it's going for. And I think there's room for growth potentially. Anyways, he's the most interesting form of, yeah, I've just never seen somebody's anxiety manifest the way it does for Pedro Pascal, but you know, to each his own. I'm not gonna say he doesn't, whatever. If she's comfortable with it, it's none of my business. A former developer thinks 30 FPS might be the way forward for Rockstar Games and Grand Theft Auto 6 players anyway, and it's considered a trade-off. AKA, nigga, you should be grateful we made this shit anyway. Obi Vermeji is a former Rockstar Games technical lead who worked on peak GTA games in the PS2 and PS3 era. In early July, Vermeij claims Grand Theft Auto 6 will be cheaper to make than Grand Theft Auto 7 will be cheaper to make than Grand Theft Auto 6 because of AI. It also might be worse. I'm not the biggest Grand Theft Auto fan, but one thing I will say that I, as well as a lot of people, love about Grand Theft Auto is, for the media savvy, for the media literate, not illiterate, literate, Grand Theft Auto is a social commentary. It pokes fun at a lot of things going on in society and gives perspective, if you choose to critically think about it. I'm not sure AI will be able to replicate that. So I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go ahead and say Grand Theft Auto 7, if it is made by AI, if he's correct, ladies and gentlemen, we just got an early red flag. Shout out to Yali with the $20 super chat. He said, what up, TBH in the chat? Dropping some bread for all the brokies in the Twitch chat. Is real blue collar, hardworking men over here. Get your money up, not your funny. Shout out to my blue collar workers out there. He said, y'all broke. I can't go band for band with them. Now they're suggesting that even though players seem desperate for 60 FPS, GTA 6 might be a better experience overall in 30 FPS. You know what I find interesting? There's so much emphasis from some of these bigger studios to use AI to create creative video games, but I don't understand why they don't use AI to just improve the overall experience of video games before anything. They're so eager to replace developers, the artists. Instead, why don't you use AI to make sure this game runs at fucking 60 FPS? Because I can't stress enough, we are talking about one of the biggest games of this generation not running at 60 FPS in the big 2026. And don't tell me it's not possible, because that's literally what NVIDIA's GPUs do. it uses AI for upscaling and better frame rates. And I believe the PS5 has some type of tech in it. It is possible. But I'd imagine they're probably too focused in terms of the Grand Theft Auto development on just stuffing it. Because in my opinion, that's what makes Grand Theft Auto have such a mainstream appeal. You can literally do almost anything in it. It's really the metaverse. They're putting so many features and what's the word? Different game modes and like mini games that maybe there's not a focus on optimization. Because I feel like that should be the focus more than anything. What else did he say? The developer was asked on Twitter, they said, and in your opinion, why is it so difficult for Grand Theft Auto 6 to reach 60 FPS on base consoles? Or is it even actually possible? One of the biggest talking points is GTA 6 being so big and ambitious that it won't be able to hit 60 FPS, maybe not even on the PS5 Pro. I just don't believe that, bro. Not even on the PS5. I don't believe that, man. I don't know, man. You could just, bring the visuals down just a tad bit. I believe people would understand. The developer replied to the comment by saying, it's a trade-off. At 30 FPS, you can render twice as many polygons compared to 60 FPS. For a competitive action game, you'd always go for the high frame rate, but for GTA, you might prefer the visual details. And that's true. The better the graphics are, the more you have to sacrifice to get that frame rate right, because you have to render more. That is correct. But to assume the consumer doesn't want a smoother experience, I'd argue most people want 60 FPS before anything, because especially with all these casual gamers who primarily focus on multiplayer, because a lot of people are going to be playing this for GTA Online. They want that smooth experience. They want to be able to take out their ops as smoothly as possible, because for those unaware, the smoother the frame rate is, the more responsive the game is to you when you do an input on your controller into what you see on the screen. That's why when it comes to first-person shooters and fighting games, they always run at 60 FPS, because they're games that require fast reflexes and stuff like that. With the bigger emphasis on online play, whether it's the driving and the shooting, I don't understand why. Well, I do understand. I'm gonna tell you why they don't prioritize the frame rate versus anything else. They do it because you guys accept it. The GTA fan base on average, not everybody, because I play GTA. I'm a hardcore gamer. You probably play GTA. You're probably a hardcore gamer. But the average GTA player is casual and they don't give a fuck. So in my opinion, this has nothing to do with technicalities, because if the audience demanded better, the studio would demand that better. But the reality is that the average GTA player is not going to demand anything better. They're not watching these streams. They think what I'm talking about is fucking dweebs. And matter of fact, what I'm talking about, which would actually improve the experience for them, they're most likely to tell me it's not that deep. I ain't reading all that. I'm not listening to that. That's the GTA audience on average. That's probably like 80% of fucking GTA players. So in my humble opinion, I think the real reason it's not hitting 60 FPS is because the audience isn't gonna. I mean, it's the same audience that plays 2K and Madden. I saw a tweet earlier today. He was replying to my tweet and he was saying that the reason that those games don't improve is just because that audience doesn't stand on business. And I agree. This is why I can't stress enough. The biggest problem with gaming is capitalism. I talk about group economics on this channel all the time. And when I talk about group economics, niggas would be like, oh, it's not that. It is that deep. What you do affects me. I am my brother's keeper. If more gamers had that mindset, you would get better, because the thing is, the person selling you something has to adjust to what you want. But because you're not demanding better, they're never going to make an adjustment, and they're going to assume you like the bullshit that's coming out. That's why Neil Druckmann, the head of Naughty Dog Studio, recently gave an interview. And in that interview, he said, I don't understand why people hate on The Last of Us remasters on Twitter so much, because he's like, I see a very vocal crowd on Twitter hating on all the games that we're making, or remastering, shall I say, but yet we're still raking in hundreds of millions of dollars every year. So it's like, you guys say one thing and the studios are literally telling you say one thing and do another, and you have to look at it from the standpoint of the business. If you are somebody who has operating costs that are in the millions every year, you're employing thousands of people, you want to keep that overhead as low as possible. And if you can work less and still make more, you're going to take the option to do that. That's why EA keeps doing this shit with Madden. This is why they keep doing it with 2K. This is why they're doing it with GTA. So in my humble opinion, the reason that we are not getting a better experience for Grand Theft Auto 6, we're still hitting 30 FPS on a PS5 Pro, is because the average GTA fan is going to tell me it's not that deep. You're a cornball. You play fucking Zelda. All right, let's go hop on the T Grizzly server. Let's go fucking do it, bro. It's bullshit, bro. Demand better, you'll get better. I believe it's funny too, because I feel like a lot of people understand how this applies in real life, but don't understand how this applies in economics. For the most case, not always, but for the most cases, people treat you how you treat yourself. I mean, I'm gonna say it again. For the most cases, people treat you how you treat yourself. If you carry yourself with a certain type of regal, not the movie theater, slow niggas. They talk about movies, AMC. But if you carry yourself a certain type of way, you have certain expectations. People will treat you accordingly. Now, there's gonna be people that are gonna try you, but for the most part, I'm talking about normal people, not variables. And unfortunately, I don't think the average gamer respects their own time or money. Matter of fact, I know you don't, because you niggas be lining up to get that damn battle pass. You can't convince me you respect your time if you buy battle passes all the time. I said what I said. So just some friendly reminders. I know this was about the FPS, but I'm going to keep circling this conversation back to how everything relates to capitalism and how you participate in the system affects me and what I do affects you. It's called group economics. Anyways, we got an update on the Sony story we had from yesterday. There was news that broke that Sony was suing the studio that works for Tencent, the Chinese publisher, because they're making a game that looks too much like Horizon Forbidden West. And we played the trailer, and that shit did look like a chibi version of Horizon Forbidden West. But what makes it funny is some new details came out, and it turns out that Tencent requested the license to use the Horizon Zero Dawn IP. But apparently Sony denied them the right to use the IP on 2 different occasions. So on the 3rd time, they said, we're not asking for the IP anymore. Nigga, we're taking it. And yesterday, when I looked at the comparison, the artwork, these are the 2 games. So their game is called Light of Mortarum. When I looked at the 2 games, I'm like, oh yeah, you guys definitely ripped off Horizon. You can't even hide that shit. But now details have come out that behind the scenes, they were asking Sony to use the IP, and when they couldn't get it, they turned around and still made it. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Wrap this case up. Sony's about to get a check. It's not flying. It's not fucking flying. And I think the most interesting thing about this story is why Horizon? Why out of all the games do you want to rip off this one? This game is such a painfully above average. This is the most 8 out of 10 I've ever seen in my fucking life, bro. Like, why this game? Like, you couldn't copy Elden Ring or some shit? I don't know. Fucking Expedition 33. You wanted to copy Horizon? What did you link? Oh, more GTA news. GTA rumors. A leaker claims GTA 6 could slip to September 2026. Revealing new pricing tiers, early online access, PS5 marketing, and console bundles. It will be $70, but there will be a deluxe edition for $90. Includes early GTA Online access. Premium edition $110 includes first GTA Online Oh my God, bro. This goes back to what I said. The problem is what? Say it with me. Capitalism. Now, let's pretend this is a rumor, but let's pretend like it's true. I feel like there's a chance this could be true. You are now there. Most people are going to buy this $90 or $100 edition because a lot of y'all are buying the game to play it online. But what I don't like about this rumor is the $90 edition gives you what? Probably 2 weeks. You get it 2 weeks before it comes out. What, you get it a month before it comes out, the online act? Y'all going for this? You got to pay to play the online now? Y'all going for this? I'd argue the game is $100 if this turns out to be true, because I'd argue at least 60% of the GTA community is playing it strictly for the online. That's the reason the game is still alive to this point. So that means you're going to have to buy that $110 edition. Let's just hope it's not true. A rumor is a rumor, yeah. Let's hope it's not true. Why so early? Oh, I was just making up I'm not saying a month. I was just making that up. This is all a rumor. Hold on, in the past, have you got a month early or you gotten a few days? No, a few days early access. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like for $90, let's act like this is true. For $90, what do you get? 3 days early access? And then for $110, what do you get? A week early? Like what would be the number on that? You can't go too fucking early. And then they're talking about the game is delayed too. That also makes me think that rumor about the game running at 30 FPS is true. Because if you're delaying it again, after another 10 years of development, says to me that the shit is not optimized, but take it with a grain of salt. None of it is confirmed. Shout out the Dolphin with the sub. Shout out the Dolphin with the sub. But my chat is not showing up. Oh shit. Let me see. I accidentally probably turned it off. See sources. Oh yeah, I turned it off. There you go. You can see it now. There you go. There you go. Did you check out the Phantom Blade Zero gameplay? Yeah, I checked it out yesterday. It looks good. I'm gonna be honest. I don't need to see any more Phantom Blade Zero gameplay. I know I'm gonna get it. It looks good. I don't need any more gameplay. Just put the game out. PS Plus for August. Here's the games you guys get. Oh, Lies of P is arguably one of the best Souls-like since Dark Souls games themselves. A spiritual successor to Bloodborne, and for those waiting for an actual sequel, Lies of P leads for free on PS Plus in August. So in August, you'll get Lies of P on the 5 and the 4. Shout out to the PS4, finally getting some games. And you know the crazy thing is, you PS4 niggas still not gonna play it because it's not 2K. You can play it for free. This is an example. This is an example of why I said I hate this argument that gaming is dead. Yeah, games are arguably more expensive than ever with the $70 price tag and the microtransactions, but the microtransactions are they are optional. You don't have to buy every game at $70 because most of the time you're not going to have enough time to play it. So you might as well wait for a sale for half these fucking games. But also, you got things like Game Pass, you got free to play games, and you get free games on PS Plus. You get free games every month on Amazon. You get 2 free games like every week on Epic Games. There's so many ways to get free games, whether it's free to play or free premium games. And here's an example. You get one of the best games of the last 2 fucking years on the PS5 and the PS4, and y'all will sit on Al Gore's internet and say it's nothing to fucking play. You niggas is frauds! Now, if you played it already, I'm not talking to you, but it's a great game. Ask your homeboys, are they gonna play it? Fucking phonies. Daisy on the PS4, don't play that shit. My Hero on, man, fuck this game. You get Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm 11 for the PS4. I wouldn't play none of this shit, but Lies of P is lit. I recommend it. Check it out. And the DLC came out. So if you enjoy the base game, get the DLC to support the developers. Lies of JG will be my first Souls game. Lies of JG. New Joey Swole tweet drop. Time to turn on the sad Naruto music. He said he's done. I don't care, bro. It's all good. Let him be. That man getting cooked. I don't know what to do, guys. He wasn't that bad of a guy. YouTube news. YouTube has updated its monetization policy to allow swearing within the first 77 seconds. Both old and new uploads are now eligible to earn full ad revenue. Ladies and gentlemen, we went through the 2018 ad apocalypse for no fucking reason, because now everything has come full circle. But this is great because I be cussing up a storm, and some videos do be getting demonetized. For those who didn't know that, when it comes to content creation, you were not allowed to cuss within the first 10 seconds because a bot would catch it and then your whole video would get demonetized. Trust me, I know. Looks like they're getting rid of it, thank God. Which means maybe people will actually start being themselves and being a little bit more laxed on camera, although some of y'all don't need this much fucking leeway. Shout out to all the colored athletes. Speaking of athletes, I saw this article. Yo, I didn't know Beyblade was still pop. I know this is random, but I did not know Beyblade was still popping. Like, where are my Beyblade athletes at, right? I saw this article, man. They doing tricks with the Beyblades like this. And then I also saw that there was a tournament too, like recently. I didn't know. They really going at it. You hear the anime music? I remember I had the Beyblade video game on GameCube. Me and my boy used to play that. We used to go crazy. I saw there was a Beyblade tournament too at the anime convention like a couple weeks ago. This is it just goes to show you that there's a community for everything, because I didn't know that Pokemon cards were popping like that until I started getting TikToks of people scalping them like crazy. There's also like the stuff people used to make fun of. Now they're having tournaments within the conventions and winning money and getting clout off this. Like, imagine pulling all the baddies off of being a Beyblader, bruh. What a gameplay it. They get to do interviews. They get the graphics and stuff like that. This is so fire. Look, hey, you see the pool on that joint too? Hold on. He said, you get saucy with the pool. Hold up. Let it rip. I didn't know this is going on. Bakugan is fire too. That's going on too. There was a tournament at DreamCon. Oh, you was watching that joint? I didn't know it was going. I didn't know this was popular. I would watch it. This is funny to me. This was funny. So like, all right, be real. Does anybody in the chat pay Blade before we move on? Like, what's the is there like a strategy? Is there like a difference between somebody who's really good versus somebody who's really bad, or is it based off the equipment you buy? I got excited. I used to. I do. So like, what makes a good Beyblader and what makes a bad Beyblader? Because I'm like, where does all this Beyblade content come from on my damn algorithm all of a sudden? How can I cheat in this? No cheating. Yank that joint. You just gotta pull. So you gotta work on your shoulder strength. Oh, you know what would make you a crazy Beyblader? Probably if you worked on your lats. Cause I mean, that's a lat pull if you think about it, right? You know what I'm talking about? When you got the weight and you go, it's the same thing. So if you work on your lat pulls in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Let it rip. You be the strong, you blow up the whole goddamn ball. Like, I mean, like, you remember in the anime how they had like monsters and stuff in that joint? Like they think if you got a crazy lat pole, they gonna think you got a monster you summon and it's doing crazy damage and demons and shit like that, bro. Can we actually get holograms for them? Yeah, can we get holograms? Yeah, so now I think about it, work on your lats if you're trying to be a pro Beyblader. I thought this was funny though. They had like a whole channel dedicated to this. I was like, whoa. There was a tournament in LA. I think I was at that was when I was in Huntsville. I would have went to this if I would have went to the anime. It was at Anime Con in the LA Convention Center. I would have wanted to check it out. This is funny to me. Hey, nerds is up. I don't anybody saying they can't make friends. You're just not trying. If you are a gamer who plays games that your friends are not into and you're looking for new friends, hop in a random Discord. Go to your local comic book shop and meet people. I've met people in comic book shops. We just started talking about comics books, start talking about books and whatnot. Go to your local card shop if you want to play cards. There's a community for Beyblades. You said you can't make friends. That's on you. There's a community for everything, dog. We up. What you think about the Unction and the LA Clippers? Wait, what you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Card Games is up. Next batch of articles. What I got for ya? Let's see. Look up Sparking's Beyblades. What's that? Let's see. Is that how you spell it? Sparks. King Baby. Is it just sparking? Is that what you meant? A bit of this Beyblade. What the fuck are you talking about? Unction. This is the coolest sparking.
This Beyblade launcher actually sparks. If you're familiar with Burst, you know what this is.
This is a sparking launcher from Beyblade Burst.
We'll turn off the lights.
These sparks are brighter than my future.
Subscribe for more Beyblade videos.
So if the power goes out, you can just do a Beyblade battle and like you can see again. That's pretty cool. Like light up shoes.